When Joe Biden gave a commencement address, it was all about systemic racism. They actually side with the Hamas wing on these college campuses. They had prom graduation stolen from them. They had to wear masks unnecessarily.
We've got a couple clips of Charlie Kirk on Fox News spewing right-wing propaganda. Who would have thought, on the largest propaganda news network in America? So why not take some time to debunk it? First, leave us a like if you can. It helps us out a bunch. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back with whatever fact checks we can ready.
When I look at President Trump's phenomenal commencement address at the University of Alabama, I feel that it's necessary to contrast that with a completely different one that Joe Biden gave at Morehouse University when he was president. When President Trump gave the speech, it was about optimism and positivity, and you could do anything when you put your mind to it. When Joe Biden gave a commencement address, it was all about systemic racism and police brutality and how America has a terrible past. It was about oppression, and it was a very heavy and sad and negative speech. And you contrast those two together, and this is one of the main reasons why we are seeing the greatest generational realignment since Woodstock.
I mean, it's all insanely disingenuous fan fiction after watching Kamala Harris run on a new way forward for everyone. You can do anything. Your gender and skin color shouldn't determine your limits and capabilities. I'm willing to work with conservatives to find common sense solutions for all Americans. Meanwhile, Trump ran on Democrats are evil, conservatives must divorce from them, let's lock Democrats up. Biden's Morehouse speech was also literally just about how your skin color shouldn't limit you or hold you back, how black people should have the same opportunities as everyone else because they have the same capability as everyone else. Meanwhile, Trump said the Democrats were evil and Biden is evil and black people can relate to him because he has 96 charges and all of the people he doesn't like is evil. It's a happy, joyous speech if you're a straight white male conservative, I guess.
Democrats are bleeding the core constituency. Young people for so long have been the cornerstone of the American left. They've always been able to count on college campuses as their main source of energy for activism. Now, it's the main source of energy for the Republican Party and for President Trump, from the Yale Youth Poll, from the Harvard Youth Poll. And to your astute point, Maria, you're exactly right. 18 to 22-year-olds, these are the lockdown generation. They had prom graduation stolen from them. They had to wear masks unnecessarily. They were forced to get vaccines. They had many friends hurt themselves or kill themselves because of the lockdowns. They do not trust the experts. They get their information from places like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and they are now the most solid and loyal base of President Trump's ever-growing coalition.
I don't know where he gets any of this information. It's almost all entirely untrue. Kamala carried the young vote in this election by around 4 points. It was heavily gendered, though, with young men preferring Trump by about 16 points, but young women preferring Kamala by 24 points. Also, Democrats historically always carry the college vote. That was no different in this election. Don't know why he's thinking in college campuses it's different. I even looked at the specific polls he mentioned. In the Harvard poll, under 30% of those 18 to 29 think that Trump is doing a good job. Democrats' numbers did drop in this poll, but the number who thought Biden had done well during his 4 years was 41%, which is 11% higher than where Trump was. Per the Yale poll, Trump was favored 18 to 21. That was mainly carried by young men, where again, he was trailing in women, but Democrats were favored 22 to 29. So in the totality of the young demographic, and that's across both genders, it's leaning Democrats. Trump's favorability with specifically the 18 to 22 was also underwater, 6 points underwater. And hilarious enough, this Yale poll that's showing that people are moving right and turning to conservatives showed that a majority of 18 to 22 supported trans women in sports and 62% supported abortion access. I mean, yikes.
We just want normalcy back in our lives. We want a secure border. We want to be able to make stuff in our country. Yet AOC, the vision that she's going to try to put forward, or Bernie or whomever fills this caricature, is one where they say there is imminent decline and collapse unless we triple the size of the federal government.
Meanwhile, I haven't heard one peep out of any of these Democrats about the anti-Semitism on college campuses.
Exactly. Oh, it's terrible. Not one peep, because they actually side with the Hamas wing on these college campuses. That is part of their coalition. You see, they have made some very, very dark.
That's hilarious, because here's a tweet it took me 2 seconds to find of AOC specifically condemning anti-Semitism on college protests. They are really bad at this. It's also wild that these clowns can consider this journalism and do not any research at all and justify it with, well, I didn't see anything. And it's because you didn't look. But when you're weighed with two fronts, if you want to get the explanation for what they're trying to point to, if you're faced with two fronts On one, there's a literal genocide, right? There's kids being slaughtered. There's starvation, humanitarian crisis going on currently. Like, it's happening in front of all of our eyes. On the other hand, there's mass protests about this genocide where a very small minority of those protests may have immoral implications or might be radical or even anti-Semitic outright, where I think it's awfully telling if you dedicate more of your time to that small minority as if they dictate the message of the majority rather than the literal genocide. That's just me. But that's what those of us like AOC, like myself, like Bernie Sanders have all chosen to do and expend our time towards when talking about this topic. And give me a break anyway, right? They care so much about protests happening at school, but if it was a gun on that campus that killed 30 students, all you'd hear from MAGA is thoughts and prayers.